The federal government is still sending out billions of dollars in additional stimulus funds.
Are getting extra stimulus money. The latest batch of stimulus checks last week included nearly $1.2 billion in plus-up payments as more 2020 tax returns are processed.
The plus-up payments.
We have a ton of news about the fourth stimulus checks, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. Continue watching this video because you don't want to miss out on this video. Grocery shopping lately has been costly for the average American, and many price increases at the supermarket have been explained by ongoing inflation. So the food at home category was up by a record, making 13.5% year over year, and an increase not seen since the late 70s. But according to the latest Consumer Price Index, numbers have come down since then, particularly in the past few months, with food at home now sitting around 10% inflation, cooling to 6%. And with inflation coming down, why are grocery prices still incredibly high and climbing? And why are pantry and refrigerator staples currently double the rate? Well, according to Yahoo News, white bread is up 22%, flour costs 24% more, and now it's a conundrum that has many people guessing. Some blame the corporate greed or price gouging at the grocery store. But according to CBS, food producers may be raising costs simply because they can. CBS also pointed out a corporate watchdog group that has accused food manufacturers of boosting their prices unnecessarily, because that was more feasible at a time like this. Tyson Foods actually doubled its profits between 2021 and 2022, and cereals and General Mills reported their profits increased by 100%. Recent grocery store mergers are also resulting in monopolies that drive up prices. It's like the Kroger-Albertsons merger currently on the table goes through. Now, it will result in Walmart and things like that getting more competitive. Now, there are real situations that Americans are facing who have made the impossible decision when it comes to feeding their families. A recent survey found that nearly a third of families are skipping meals, eating less, or relying on food banks, as prices are beginning to skyrocket. Because adding to the issue is the fact that the crisis-era food benefits will soon come to an end. Because there is some good news though, extra money is headed out to eligible Americans from an $18 million fund scheduled to arrive by the middle of next month. In late 2022, the Richmond City Council in Virginia approved a tax rebate, that's now being referred to as the 5-bag program. That is because the city is returning 5 cents for every 100 that residents have paid on real estate property tax. The rebate is made possible thanks to the $18 million budget surplus, and to qualify for a payment, you'll need to have a Richmond property owner who owes or paid real estate taxes in full by January. Also, you must have been the property owner as of the second billing period for the fiscal year, because those eligible can calculate the rebate by dividing their total taxable property value by $100, then multiplying that amount by 5 cents. Meanwhile, Richmond isn't the only one in the country offering a rebate. In fact, the state of Virginia or Georgia has approved a new income tax rebate worth up to $500. To qualify for this, you must have filed both 2021 and 2022 taxes and live in the state. If you file on or before April 18th, you can expect cash by July 1st. South Carolina is also doing this. They're giving a lot of money to people who need it the most. That's good, everybody.
In this moment, we have to confront those lies with the truth. The very future of our nation depends on it. My fellow Americans, we're facing a defining moment, an inflection point. We must, with one overwhelming, unified voice, speak as a country and say there's no place for voter intimidation.
Right now, let's talk about what's trending. A popular change.org petition is gaining a lot of steam online. Organizers are calling for a stimulus check every month until the pandemic is over. 2.5 million people, over that number, has signed this petition, and the person who wrote it out basically said they want a monthly check, $2,000 per adult every month, and then $1,000 per child every month. Now, here's a look at that stimulus petition that is gaining that steam. Again, over 2.5 million people signing it, and the person who organized it all.
Families in Colorado are still feeling the economic impacts of the crisis, no doubt about that. Combined with the rising cost of living in the state, experts have said that providing direct payments is one of the most impactful ways to support families. Colorado cashback checks are hitting mailboxes now, and the cashback payments currently being mailed were made possible through an amendment to the state's Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which requires the Colorado government to return excess state revenue. And normally those revenues are returned in the form of a temporary reduction in the state income tax, or a sales tax refund, or reimbursement to counties for the senior homestead exemption. For the current fiscal year only, legislators approved a direct payment to taxpayers as a way to refund excess revenues. They also accelerated the timeline for issuing those refunds. In an official statement, the Department of Revenue spokesperson said the Colorado cashback rebates are an early refund of the fiscal year surplus. The program will provide immediate relief to Coloradans by sending checks this summer instead of spring. So, people in Colorado should expect to receive a lot of money, and this can help so many people. According to a new plan announced by lawmakers, the California gas tax rebate has morphed into inflation relief checks for millions of people. An agreement on the framework for the 2023 budget was reached and includes 23 million Californians, direct payments of as much as $1,000. The payments will be issued via direct deposit or debit cards. The deal also suspends the state's diesel tax for 12 months starting on October 1st, and the diesel sales tax is currently 23 cents a gallon. Governor Newsom's original plan was to tie the payments directly to vehicle registrations. Under that plan, California vehicle owners would have received $400 per vehicle registered in their names, up to 2 vehicles per person, and millions of dollars and more in grants to make public transit free for 3 months. Now pause a part of the diesel sales tax for a year and pause the inflationary adjustment to gas and diesel excise tax rates. The Speaker of the State Assembly said that any plan to pause or eliminate the sales gas tax will put funding to maintain roads at risk. The Republican Party of Los Angeles County has also sent a statement. The Republicans have been requesting a gas holiday for quite some time. We remain hopeful that legislators will finally take action. The new framework will give $17 billion in inflation relief back to Californians. According to the governor's office, joint filers who make less than $150K and have at least one child will receive the maximum of $1,000. That's a lot of money. Under this new plan, single filers who make under $75,000 will receive $350, and those making between $75,000 and $125,000 will get $250. Californians making between $125,000 and $250,000 will also see a bonus of $250, and joint filers making over $150,000 or less will receive $700. Now, the Washington Post, has said that Joe Biden is considering sending out more cards to millions of drivers. The idea was to send out preloaded cards to recipients, but in practice, there will be no way to control what people spent the money on. That would essentially mean that the payments were just another stimulus check. Democrats desperately needed the vote of Joe Manchin of West Virginia to get their signature legislatively priority across the finish. So they did so what Washington does best, and they reached a deal to help land a support on the bill hailed by advocacy groups as the biggest investment ever in curbing climate change.
Really, that benefits working people and low-income people, there is an uproar. Oh my God, you're helping young people. You're helping working people. You're helping poor people. What a terrible thing to do. But there is massive silence when you give gigantic tax breaks to